Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Blue Screen. My name is Jared. Today we're going to be looking at my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K rig. It's been a couple of years since I've done an update video on this rig. I've been using this camera as a main camera for a couple years now, and it's been a beast of a camera. It's got me through a lot of shoots, a lot of weddings, and the camera has slowly evolved over time. And so I just wanted to do an update video walking you guys through the rig and how it all has come together. Like I said, it's changed a lot since the last time I made a video about this, so we're gonna walk through it. I'm gonna start out with the camera kind of built almost down. It's still got a couple things on here because I have it like zip tied and everything, and I don't want to undo all the zip ties, but I'm gonna walk you guys through it piece by piece here. So we're gonna start off nice and simple. We have the camera itself. The camera is inside the smallrig cage. It seems like almost everybody is using the smallrig cages. So this is the smallrig cage with a smallrig top handle on here. And I bought the cage with the SSD holder here. So this is the SSD holder compatible with the Samsung T5 SSDs. That's these guys right here. So it's compatible with those, and so that's what I have up here. So you can hold the camera here by the top handle. Your SSD goes right here into this slot, and then on the side here I have this side handle. A lot of people like to do a right side handle. Those are the most common kinds of side handles. I actually don't like right side handles because I feel like all my controls are typically on the right hand side of the camera, and so by putting a handle on the right side, it means I have to take my hand off of the handle to adjust controls. So I prefer a handle on the left side, but I prefer just to hold the camera itself on the right side. Also on here I have the Viltrox lens adapter. So this is the EF-M2 0.71 times. So this lens adapter allows me to adapt to Canon EF lenses, and that's mostly what I use. So I actually have this guy permanently mounted on here using the little smallrig lens support adapter right there, and that screws directly into the bottom of the Viltrox, so that way the Viltrox can't flex at all and kind of rip off the mount of the camera itself. So I have all that mounted on here, and then I also have cables run through here, which I'll walk through as we go what each of those is for. So yeah, that's the camera itself. Again, we have the camera, we have the cage, we have the smallrig top handle, the SSD holder, the lens adapter, we have the right handle here, and then if you come around this side, we have this HDMI and USB clamp. Because we have these cables and stuff here and they go in permanently, and I don't want to get the jacks broken or break cables all the time, I have this clamp here, so as you put your cables in, you can clamp them down. So the next thing that we have to install is the base plate. So this is a smallrig base plate. A lot of these parts are smallrig just because they're super affordable and they work really well. So we're gonna flip the camera over here. We got a second one here. The reason why you use two is because one leaves one point of contact with the camera, and then this can come loose and it can rotate. By using two, it's not able to rotate. It's going to be a lot more secure that way. So now I'm going to mount this guy. I actually have the wrong tool. Solid. So now that that's on there nice and tight, the next thing we're going to do is install our quick release plate. So the quick release plate we're using is a Manfrotto quick release plate. This is a long plate. It came with my Manfrotto tripod right there in the background. So this quick release plate is going on here so that it has a nice, good, long sled to be able to attach to a tripod. This allows us to take it on and off of the tripod a lot easier and faster. And if you guys saw my tripod video, one of the things I wanted to do with that whole journey was find a system that would just be unified. So now all of my cameras are using these quick release plates from Manfrotto. Boom. All right. Next up on our list is this guy. So this is two 15mm rods with a right angle adapter in between them. So what this is going to allow us to do is run a 15mm rod behind the camera so that we can mount accessories back there. So we're gonna flip this guy straight up now, and we're gonna slide our 15mm rod right in there, just like that. All right, next up is this big thing that's been hanging off of the camera here. This is a V-mount battery plate. I don't remember the particular brand. This one might be a Neewer, but the brand isn't so important as making sure you have one. The main thing with this battery plate was that it has this right angle thing for 15mm rods. It's made so that you can mount it like this, but I found that my top handle gets in the way of mounting it vertically like this. So I decided to actually mount it this way, which is why I have this right angle adapter, because that allows me to slide on the V-mount battery plate just like this. Now there are other options of mounting V-mount batteries. This is just the one I had on hand because I bought this V-mount battery back when I first built my first rig version of this rig, and it's changed a lot since then, which is why I have decided to go with this whole setup. Now, if you were building this from scratch, the better decision would probably be to buy the adapter that smallrig actually has that allows you to mount these kinds of things straight upright, whichever way you want. I can link that down in the description of how that works. All right, so you can start to see the rig coming together here. So we have this battery thing back here, and then we have the camera, we have the handle. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and start getting some of these cables plugged in. So we have this HDMI cable, and we have a USB-C cable, and we have the SSD. So we're gonna go ahead and put the SSD in the camera here. I'm gonna slide this around so you guys can see it. So we just slide this in. I don't actually ever tighten this thing all the way down. I have it right at the perfect tension to where it does not want to pull out on its own. But if I pull on it, I can pull it out myself. That way it's not gonna fall off of the camera, but I also don't need to try and screw and unscrew it every single time I want to access it. Next, we're gonna run the USB-C cable right around the camera like that. Now we need to take our HDMI cable, and we're gonna do the same thing. All right, now you just want to tighten this clamp down, just like this, just to hold these cables in place so they don't go flying all over the place and get broken. All right, so now we have our SSD plugged in, we have an HDMI cable plugged in. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a microphone installed on here. So what I'm using for the microphone is I have these little quick release plates. These guys are awesome. You can get them on eBay, or Condor Blue sells a version of these. They're excellent. I highly recommend these little guys. And so what they do is essentially just like any other quick release plate, is they just allow you to take the female side and you can just snap them together just like that. It's pretty simple. So we're going to take the one end of this guy and we're going to mount it right on here. Boom. Okay. Now we can take our microphone and we're able to get it on and off with just a quick snap, just like that. So I'm gonna take it back off for a second because next up we're installing our monitor. So this is a monitor mount. This one is specifically from, I think, Rhino makes this guy. I originally was gonna get a smallrig one, but I think they actually discontinued this version. So I had to go to Rhino in order to get it. I could be wrong, I don't quite remember, but this one has this little screw thing here at the bottom, like that. So I'm able to put a screw in, and then it also has a rotating head. So this part can actually spin around like this. So I'm able to actually position this however I want. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm going to stick it right here on the front of the top handle. Just like that. Now, we can take our monitor and rotate our little head upright like this, take our monitor and screw it in. Now this monitor that I'm using is the Blackmagic Video Assist, the original version. So it's a 5-inch monitor that can record 1080p video at 60 FPS in ProRes. The reason that I picked this specific monitor, one, got a good deal on it versus something like the Ninja 5, which is a little bit more expensive. Two, I specifically wanted a recorder because one of the big downsides to the Blackmagic Pocket is that it doesn't have any kind of ability to record on 2 cards at one time. So by using a monitor like this one, I can actually record on both devices at the same time and have a backup recording that way. And that was my main motivation for going that route. So now we can take our HDMI cable and we can just plug it in right up here. Boom. Next up, we can come around, and I actually had plugged into the battery, I had this 12-volt cable that plugs into our monitor. So this is plugged into the battery so that it runs off the V-mount battery, and so that I don't need actually any batteries for the monitor itself. The monitor is powered just off of the V-mount battery, just like the rest of the camera is. Now, we can snap our microphone back on. This is just a scratch audio microphone. I don't really use this audio for much, but shooting weddings, sometimes you want to have people speaking in the background or whatever, have some ambient noise, and so this just gives me something that's better than the built-in microphones. And so then I can go ahead and just plug that in. And now, next up is our battery. So this is a K-Star 98 watt-hour V-mount battery. I think it's 98 or 89, something like that, watt-hour V-mount battery. So this guy's pretty good. It'll last me usually for probably 7 hours of shooting time, 10 hours maybe. I rarely have to charge these things. They last forever. And so usually one and maybe a quarter of another will get me through a full wedding day, no problem. And so I can just tack this guy on here, just like that. And then the last thing is our lens. So the lens that I normally use is the Sigma 18-35. I'm using that on this camera right now. So subbing in for that is the Sigma 50-100mm, which is another lens that I commonly use, but not necessarily on this camera so much because it is a little long. This camera doesn't have any IBIS or anything. So there you have it. The one thing I do notice is that the V-mount battery is a little bit far away. I like to keep my rig really compact, and so I'm just gonna scooch it forward some more. Just like that. And boom. That is my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K Rig. It's pretty compact given that it has basically everything on it. In addition to the microphone on camera here, I also have this mini XLR cable that comes off at the side. The reason I have this is because I have adapters that will convert this to a full-size XLR, which allows me to essentially, just as easily as plugging in this camera, plug in any microphone that I want and use that. So I've got the monitor up here that allows me to, one, have extra monitoring, and two, allow dual recording. I have the scratch audio mic here, I have the SSD, and everything on this camera is powered off of this V-mount battery that lasts me basically all day. And it can all go on and off of a tripod really fast due to the quick release plate. So guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys got something from this video. Everybody has these rig builds. I kind of love watching them. I'm like addicted to it. And so I'm gonna do some more about all the camera rigs that I'm using around here. I'm gonna do one about the camera I'm recording on right now, my ACC300. If you guys wanna see more stuff like that, please tune in, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. All right guys, peace.